been so much news. There's been so much news. It's been like a month almost, and it's all news. News are really goofy stuff. I haven't really like delved into the nutmegs for a while, so I did that today. And we will be revisiting some old friends. Today, I've chosen to check out what Cat Black is talking about. I love Cat Black. She makes me laugh. She's a very funny lady. Yeah, we're gonna check this out, cause honestly, this is also a really good product, I think. I have a very different viewpoint from Cat Black on this one. I know, big surprise, but I'm just saying, very different viewpoint.
Consent can be a confusing concept for some people because we're often socialized to see sex and intimacy as a game where one party seduces the other and slowly coerces them into doing something they initially didn't want to do.
Yeah, that's the hunt for pussy. That's kind of what it's like. I mean, you ladies should understand that you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Like, you know, it's always struck me as weird. I really want to have sex with him, but, you know, he talked me into it. Well, then he talked you into it. He made you want to. So, you did want to. If at least for a point, you did want to. Buyer's remorse is a thing, but it should lead you to a decision where you go with your gut from that point on. And if you don't want to have sex with somebody, you go, yeah, I don't want to have sex with you. And there's no way you're going to talk me into it. So you're just going to keep trying, and it's going to annoy me, and I'm not going to want to fucking hang out with you. So, you know, like, I don't know. I don't understand where you guys all lost your freedom. I don't get it. I don't... It never happened to me in my lifetime, as far as I know. Who knows, though? Just waiting. But, yeah, as far as I understand, all the girls I talked into it fucking wanted it. They were certainly into it at the time. So, and the greater portion of them I wound up dating for various amounts of time. But nevertheless, I think there's only been about 2 or 3 girls that I've had sex with that I wasn't dating for some amount of time. So, I don't know. What are we talking about? Oh, fucking shit. I did it again. What are we talking about? God damn it.
And that's part of the allure for some people. The blurred lines and the game of playing hard to get. To some people, that's what consent is. Wearing someone down to the point where they say yes.
Yeah. That's the hunt for pussy. Like, dude, that's... Yeah! That's... I don't know why it is that way. Don't look at me. I want to fuck. So... I don't understand. Why is it that I have to wear you guys down? It seems unfair that I have to put in so much effort when you can just snap your fingers, right? Sucks. Why don't you guys like fucking? It's because you want to fuck who you want to fuck. And that's fine. We want to fuck who we want to fuck too. And that happens to be you, whether you like it or not. So... I don't know what to tell you. Like, guys want to fuck you. So they're going to try. Until it happens. Or until it's just not going to fucking ever happen. I don't know. They're always going to try. It's the way we are. Because we want to fuck. I don't know. Like, it's... The whole argument about it seems ridiculous to me.
But oftentimes, this is a one-sided game that only takes into account one person's feelings.
Yeah. The woman's. Sorry, ladies, if that shocks you, but it only takes your feelings into account. You will either allow us to fuck you, or you will not. We have no say in it. We're ready. You know where we stand. We stand with fucking. It's what we want to do. It's up to you. It only takes into consideration your feelings. What do you think of them apples?
Recently, we've seen many celebrities being called out and losing their jobs for doing something that they initially thought was consensual that turned out not to be.
Yeah, like sometimes 30 years later. I don't know, the Louis C.K. thing, it still annoys the shit out of me because I feel, take this for what it is. I listen to a lot of Opie and Anthony. A lot. At work and stuff. I am personally invested in this, you could say. I've listened to a lot of Louis C.K. on the radio. When you're talking on the radio for hours, you talk about a lot of shit. And they used to talk about personal lives a lot, and they'd get him to fucking talk about his personal life. I know a lot about what happened with him and his divorce, and how that went, when he was married, things like that. I feel the man's pain. I've dealt with women too. So, but I understand, I feel like I understand his mindset. I feel I understand the man to a degree. And like I said when I made the video talking about it, this doesn't surprise me that Louis C.K. would get in trouble because he was jerking off in front of girls. He did a lot of comedy about masturbating. He did a lot of comedy about him masturbating. Getting caught masturbating. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was a thing. I saw it, you know? So I wasn't shocked when it came out that Louis C.K. was jerking off in front of girls. I was shocked when they were like, yeah, we were into it, but now we think it's bad. And it's like, well, that's kind of disappointing. It makes you paranoid. Just saying.
This has made a lot of people paranoid about being accused of rape or assault, and thus we found the target audience for a new app called LegalFling.
Now, I would like to stress for you in this moment the name. LegalFling. Not legal relationship. Not legal sexual encounter of whatever sort. LegalFling. There's no joke here. Joke comes later.
LegalFling is an app created to legally protect two people engaging in sexual activity. While the app isn't released yet, it touts that its main feature is creating a list of mutually agreed upon sexual acts that effectively creates a legally binding contract that can be later used in court. On the website, LegalFling says, sex should be fun and safe, but nowadays, a lot of things can go wrong. LegalFling creates a legally binding agreement, which means any offense is a breach of contract. By using the live contracts protocol, your private agreement is verifiable with the blockchain and enforceable with a single click.
God damn. Why didn't I think of that? That's brilliant. It's brilliant. Oh. God damn. It's just brilliant.
In my opinion, there's a huge pessimistic subtext to this app that says,
fucking, they were okay with jerking off in front of him. Or like him jerking off in front of him. Like I honestly, say what you will, I honestly think if they would have said no, he would have been like, okay. And I don't think he would have held it against him. Like, honestly, he doesn't strike me as that kind of a guy. You know what I mean? Like, even with all the things that he said about his wife, even when he was married to her, there was still a lot of things that he was like, man, I don't want to talk about that. You know what I mean? So, even then, I don't see him as that kind of a guy. I don't buy it, but I totally buy that he would masturbate from him. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seemed weird to me, the whole thing. It just all seemed so odd to me. That whole situation. And then the Aziz Ansari thing, that was very weird. And just other vague accusations where it's not really giving any context. It's just saying things that happened. And then I think that's bad now. Yeah, this is brilliant.
wow, things have gotten so bad that we have to do this.
Yeah, it almost seems that way. Call me crazy.
Which is ridiculous because the only real thing that's changed in the past 20 years is that people now have the ability to speak out against sexual violence on social media, it can go viral, and repercussions can be faced.
Yeah. Whether true or false, you can just go on social media and they will face repercussions. whether true or false.
This has always been an issue, and a consent contract wouldn't have really been used in any of these situations.
You can't really say that. Who knows? Maybe Harvey Weinstein wouldn't be in trouble right now if he had that shit back then. Just saying, you know, like, there's a lot of people that may not be in trouble right now if they had consent back then. I don't know, man. I don't know. You don't know if it works until you try it, I guess.
LegalFling acknowledging that the terms of consent can change is great, but an app that generates a consent contract where the terms can be changed at any time is completely useless. The concept of a consent contract on its own completely misses the point of consent.
Yeah, you're going to have to lay that one out for me because I don't really understand where you're going with this.
In this context, consent is an agreement made between two people engaging in sexual activity. It can be verbal or nonverbal, and it's all about respecting the boundaries of the person you're having sex with. Consent can be revoked at any time and is ongoing. Consent to one thing isn't consent to another. For example, kissing isn't consent to sex, and having sex with someone today isn't consent to having sex with them tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know, it all seems very broad to me. Very broad. It all seems very broad to me. Like, there's a lot of wiggle room in there to just fuck me later on down the road, because you just wanna, like, I like a nice contract. I think that's a damn good idea. I think it's awesome.
Consent should be the result of communication between you and your partner, especially when you're trying new things and you're pushing the boundaries. Let's say, for example, that you were really into the idea of elbow-deep fisting.
What?
No judgment, your kink is your kink.
Yeah, I'm not even into that at least a little bit.
You're curious about it and you've never tried it before.
Nah. The idea of it doesn't sound appealing to me. Elbow deep? Nah.
So, you and your partner have a conversation about it, and they lube up their fist, and before they manage to get 2 knuckles in...
Alright, I mean, I've seen a video where it happened. You know, I've been around the block. You know, I've seen just about every depravity you can see on fucking the internet. I've seen it happen. That is all.
You realize that this isn't what you wanted at all. That while you love the idea of a hand wiggling inside of you, that you can only stretch so far.
It was very weird. She was able to stretch far enough. I was amazed, right? And it was very weird. The other girl would like bicep curl inside her, and you could see her hand like bulging out of her. It was very fucking odd, man. It was interesting to see. It was interesting to see. She stretched fine enough. It was interesting to watch. It was a very unique experience.
So you'll probably say no or stop, or you might even communicate non-verbally that you're uncomfortable. Despite your previous conversation, in that moment, you're attempting to revoke your consent. From there, your partner can choose whether or not to respect that.
Nah, if my partner is 2 knuckles deep, and I don't want to have another 3 knuckles fist and wrist and forearm inside me, I think I will violently fight to defend myself if I don't want to do that anymore. I don't think he's gonna have a choice. Why did we assume my partner's a man just there? God damn it.
If you say no and they continue to do what you told them not to do, they're assaulting you.
Fucking ain't right. Fucking ain't right. Elbow deep? Yeah, that's assault. Yeah, that's assault.
Because they no longer have your consent.
Yeah, honestly, that could be like attempted murder. Elbow deep? Yeah. No. Yeah.
My big issue with this app is that superficially it seems like you're being trusting and communicating your needs and mutually agreeing to consent. However, by the nature of an app that creates a supposedly legal contract that could be used in court against accusations of sexual violence, I don't think it's any of those things. Personally, I would not sleep with someone who I felt I couldn't trust, and this app seems unnecessarily paranoid to me.
It's because you didn't read the name. LegalFling. It's fling. It's drunken shit. When your paranoia should be at its highest. Because you don't know this fucking girl. And honestly, ladies, you don't know this guy. This shit could help you too. He could do things you didn't want done. I didn't agree to this. You know? Like, the knife can cut both ways. How do you not understand that it's a legal contract between two people? If either are in breach, then they're in breach of contract. And they could be legally penalized for that. Like, either or.
Yes, false accusations do happen. But false accusations are not common enough for this app to feel necessary to the people who think it's a great idea.
Okay. Now I need to do a short disclaimer here. I'm fuzzy on the numbers. I watched a Bearing video. He threw up some numbers. Now, understand what you're about to hear. Okay? This is like fucking fuzzy recollections. Dealing with numbers. Not something I'm great with. Admittedly, not something I'm great with. Been called out on it a lot. Not good with numbers, especially when I'm spitballing them. And this is also coming from Bearing. I don't remember what his sources were. I don't remember if he even had sources. This could be him fucking spitballing. Like, so take this with a grain of salt. If you really want to have the hard numbers, these are statistics that are easy to look up. Get yourself the real fucking numbers and make your comparisons. But it was something, I'm going to use 20. Because that just, I remember it being a number around that region. 10 is too small, 100 is way too big, even 50 is way too big. 20 sounds about right to me, alright? It was something along the lines of, like, 3 in 20 rape accusations wind up being proven false. And something like 4 or 5... I know it was a greater number than the first one. 4 or 5 out of 20 rape accusations wind up being proven to be true. Right? So that leaves everything in between as Schrodinger's cat. Don't know. Could be true, could be false. Now, if you want to suppose that, let's just go with 5 and 20. Well, 3 and 20, 5 and 20. Those are our numbers, right? Easy to work with. Again, forgive me, I'm spitballing this shit. I'm giving you the general gist. I can't give you the real fucking numbers. So, it was like 5 and 20, 5 and 20, 3 and 20. So, 15 or 12 out of 20 could be either. If all 12 are false, that means you're looking at a 15-to-5 ratio, false to true accusations. That's ridiculous. I don't think it would be that. Honestly, maybe it's the liberal in me, I don't know. But I honestly think it's probably more around the area of 60-40. Like, I think that there's a large minority of rape accusations that are false. But I still think it's more than 50% that are true. I'm just throwing that out there. I know guys, but I also know ladies. I'm giving a 10% margin towards the ladies because a lot of them understand how disgusting it is to falsely accuse somebody of something as fucking awful as rape. Just saying. I've met a lot of ladies, or I've interacted with a lot of ladies lately that have given me hope for many women. So... But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at. And a lot of that shit you kind of think might happen with flings. Because flings are fucking, you're whatever, drunk, who even knows? That's when you do this shit. You know, when you can go, hey, this is what you agreed to last night. Fucking, you know, like, it is what it is.
On top of that, there's nothing remotely sexy about this app. And I can't imagine that the people who think it's a good idea have ever had sex or successfully executed foreplay.
Now see, here's a point in which I think she and I fundamentally disagree. I think you can make anything sexy. Just saying. Depending on who you are. Some people have talent, other people do not. I think you can make anything sexy. I think this you can make sexy. I think you can do it. Because I think it could be funny. You could look through this and go, have you seen this? And then when she looks at it, it'd be like, what is this? And then and just don't, just be like, it's a funny thing I found. I thought it was hysterical. I show it to all the girls I go out on dates with. Because I think it's funny. And she's looking at it. And then you can kind of gauge what she thinks. She could be like, oh, that's fucking gross. And then you kind of know, alright, probably not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a good temperature gauge. And if the girl's into it, provided the girl's into it, I think it could be hot. I think you could sit there and kind of like playfully banter over things. Be like, well, what about some butt stuff? And and she could be like, well, what about some butt stuff? And then you kind of go, well, okay, well, no butt stuff then. Like, I think it could be fun. I think it could be a fun novelty thing. If you're the right type of person that can have fun, and if you're with the right type of person that can have fun. You know what I mean? I think it could be hot. I think it could be hot, because I think it could be like, well, you just try that though, because I think it could be hot. I think you can make it hot. Doesn't that kind of prove that I fucked and had foreplay? Probably not.
I mean, think about it. You and a person you're into decide that you're going to have sex. You open up your phones, you click on LegalFling, and make a long list of the deplorable things that you're planning to do to each other.
Yeah, see? That could be hot. When she says deplorable, even her kind of makes it almost sound hot. Because I'm thinking of somebody else. But, just saying. Like, yeah, it could be hot. I think you can definitely make it hot. Especially if it's like second or third time you're fucking, you know what I mean? And you whip that whole contract out and be like, we should revisit the contract and see if maybe we're willing to broaden our horizons. I think you can make it hot. You can make it hot.
Then once you both agree to the list, you retire to the bedroom, where in the midst of sex, if you decide to add or take something off the list, you have to grab your phone and edit it every single time, just to ensure that the person you're with couldn't possibly accuse you of sexual assault.
Now, see, that's a little bit much. I'm not going to stop in the middle of fucking and, like, addendum the fucking contract. Article 7. Like, come on. No, I think that's taking it a little bit too far. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I think you could do it. I think you could do it and make it hot. Like, if she looks at you halfway through and goes, alright, I'm thinking about some butt stuff. You kind of look at her and go, no, you said no butt stuff. And you threaten butt stuff on me. And maybe you take a break. You take that much needed break during sex. I don't know how long sex usually lasts with you guys, but you take a break a little bit through. Maybe have a little fun. It's part of the foreplay. I don't know. Maybe you do whip the contract out and be like, well, let's start talking butt sex. Like, you make it a negotiation? I don't know. I think you can make it hot. If you're with the right type of person, I think you can make it hot. It could be hot. It could be hot.
Am I the only millennial who puts their phone away when they're having sex? It's hard for me to not see this app as something designed to be abused by people who want to be able to take advantage of people and have the legal upper hand. But here's the thing. When it comes to contracts, a judge can decide if the nature of a contract is inappropriate and subsequently throw it out. So you could potentially go through all of that work just to have your contract thrown out of court.
Yeah, that's true. I don't really think this is very legally binding. You know what I mean? Like, I see it as a novelty thing. She's taking it very seriously. I see it as a novelty thing. I think it's genius. Don't get me wrong. Because just the possibility that this could be legally binding. And plus also, many of these things are never brought to legal court. We're not really trying to protect ourselves so much legally in court. I would get a lawyer to draft an actual contract for that if I really wanted to do that sort of thing. I wouldn't use a fucking app on my phone and expect it to be legally binding. You're out of your goddamn mind. But as a novelty thing, I think it could be hot. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just more into sex than most women. Just saying. But I think it could be hot. I don't know, man. As a novelty thing, I think it could be hot. And plus, like I was about to say before I went off on the I think it could be hot rants again, much of the time the court you're in is the court of public opinion. And a legally binding contract on some novelty fucking site, you sit there and go, you consented to that. Like, or ladies, you could sit there and go, I ain't consent to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, again, the knife cuts both ways. I don't understand how you, like, she's just, it's all, no, fuck this, because we don't want to have a legally binding contract that could possibly protect men. Fuck that shit. It's the way it comes off. Like, there really isn't an argument here. I don't think it's sexy. And I just don't think it's not even going to be legally binding. Yeah, no shit. It's not going to be. It's a novelty fucking what? Gotta love cat black.
To me, there's nothing more exciting than giving consent to a man who I trust. Someone that I know not only cares about me, but cares about my pleasure as well.
Legal fling. Remember when I brought that up a while ago? Legal fling. She's talking about fucking people that she wants to be with. That is not what this is. Legal fling.
In my opinion, this app is completely and utterly useless.
I think it can be hot.
In my opinion, the people who design this app don't often sleep with people that they actually like.
No! They're sleeping with people that are there. Legal fling.
But I hope one day someone will give them a chance, so they can understand that despite what they're used to, you don't always have to use your phone to get off.
Dude, I had to use my phone to get off for like 2 weeks. It sucked so bad. I'm sitting across from a 65-inch TV, and all I had to jerk off with was my fucking phone. Dude, because there was no internet. I was waiting for them to fucking come hook up the internet. It took them 2 weeks. Dude, it was a terrible 2 weeks. This used to be me. A sad, sad puppy. No food in the fridge. Holes in my pillowcase. And all out of... Recently, things have been going great. You all have helped me out a lot. Now I have a fridge full of takeout, new pillowcases. And let's be honest, I'm never out of... But the reason that things have changed around for me like that is because I've had a lot of pressure taken off of me for buying stuff for making videos for you guys. You guys helped me buy a new capture box when my old one broke. You helped me buy a new PC when the other one turned into poop. And you helped me get to Perfect Circle concerts so that I could share that experiences with you guys. Recently I've kind of had to change the way I do things, but I found another way. You can find me on Maker Support. I have a link in the description, and if you'd like to donate money to keep this sort of thing going, then that's where you can do it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. I hope you have fun.